Alright, it is Saturday. It's been probably almost exactly 72 hours, and here they are. The fish tank and then distilled. Taking a quick glance at it, I'd almost say the distilled looks more cloudy. I'm not sure. Actually, when I put them side by side, this looks more cloudy than that one. It's gonna be hard to see on the camera, but I wonder if that means anything. So let's get some slides out and let's take a closer look at this. Okay, so I started wondering that maybe, which one was it? Was it the distilled water? I wonder if the distilled water is more cloudy because bacteria, maybe? I'm not sure. I guess the osmosis works similar with bacteria, but I'm not too sure. But let's go ahead and take a look. Starting off now with the fish water, or fish tank water. One, since that should be the control. Let's get a look at it. Okay. Oh, there's something moving around in there. I'm not sure if those were ciliates, but there was something. But I think those are ciliates. Hold on, let me get a closer look at that. Yeah, I think that is, huh? Is that a bacteria? They look kind of small to be ciliates. That one right there, where the pointer's pointing right at, that's gotta be a bacteria, isn't it? Does bacteria even, I don't think bacteria moves like that, does it? I guess it depends on what sort of things it has, but I'm pretty sure that's a ciliate. It's just very, very small. Maybe they just reproduced. I forget how long I let the last experiment sit. I might let that sit for like, what, a week or two? I really don't remember. But you can definitely see little small movements going on in there. Let's go back to the 100 times, since they are very small. Let's just look around. I will say I did some editing on the first part of this. And my apologies, because I'm not the best at speaking, but I'm trying to get better. Very little small creatures. Because you can see the movement, it's just very, very small. Yeah, it's like a very small one. They're so I don't think I've ever seen that small though. I'm looking, kind of see a very small, faint movement right there. Hold on, let me go a bit closer, like right next to the pointer. Okay, I think that's bacteria. Maybe that one's bacteria or something. Like I said, I don't have much confidence with my bacteria detecting abilities. I'm not sure I've seen much live ones moving. And maybe those, see those small circles there? Maybe those are some sort of yeast. That could be the small circle right there. Maybe that is bacteria. Like coccus or something like that. But I'm not too familiar with the way live bacteria moves. I know it can move through different ways, like the tail sticking off of it, but I don't think it's moving like how these are little small things are moving right now. I'm positive those are very small, single-celled ciliates. This is also taken right from the top too. Right from the top. So I guess it's fair to say there's definitely some growth in what I'm doing. I'm not sure if the milk helps. There's another experiment idea. See if the milk helps. Do a test with and without milk. And see. Because there's definitely a lot of these ciliates compared to when I did the little preview in the first part of this. Maybe these aren't Calpoda, but maybe another sort of ciliate. It's just that shape. It's the shape of some sort of ciliate. Maybe it's paramecium. I'm not gonna sit and act like I can just identify everything I'm looking at right now. Like I said, I'm a curious man, not the most informed. What's this up here? I don't think there's anything special right there. Alright, I'm not seeing much else besides these ciliates, so we can say for the fish tank water, worked fine. I don't think there's any sort of issue there in terms of the water diffusion, osmosis. So let's go ahead and try the distilled water, the one that we're really testing. Let's test that out. Let me get set up for that. I will say I did wonder if that, let me get this set up. Like you can see the slate moving right there. So I wondered what if I just dumped a whole bunch of distilled water in there just to make sure it keeps that really low salt percentage, because I wondered that with me adding the milk and the worm bin fluids, if that could have did something more with it. I didn't add that much water to begin with. I'm not sure I'm making much sense right now, but what I'm trying to say is I wonder if I should add more more fish water. I was trying to say I wonder if I should add more fish tank water in the fish tank jar and more distilled water in the distilled water jar, just to really keep that high amount of water in it. See if that does anything. I mean, so far with this, I'm seeing pretty similar results, I think. Yeah, I might be seeing roughly the same amount of ciliates. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump a whole bunch of water in each of those jars of their respective waters, and then I will see if that influences at all. Just dump a whole lot, so it's just a lot of distilled water, a lot of fish tank water, and maybe that'll make a difference. Or maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I shouldn't be using fish tank water, so I don't know. We'll stop there, then we'll check again later. The time has come for us to finish this experiment. I will say it's been over a week since we last looked at this. We did that last Saturday. Today is Sunday of the week after, so it's been about 8 days. I was considering on doing it Wednesday, but then didn't happen, and didn't happen yesterday. But no, here we are now. Give it 8 days. That should give us some. It should let things really settle in. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and look at the results and see what we can observe from our osmosis test. Alright, so here, distilled water, and here's our fish tank water. First thing I noticed when looking at this is that more water came out of this than this one. Remember, I filled up to the 24 line about there. There's still close to 24 in this one. Some, I guess, evaporate out. This one, a lot evaporate out. This is the distilled water one. So that's interesting. A good chunk of it too. Look at that. Because I filled up to about that line. Now it's about here. Let me level this real quick. Here's so you see a more level look at it. See, there's 18. I guess a little bit of a halfway. Actually, that's for cups right there. But still, it's like halfway between. There's a 24 line. And there's a 24 line right up there. So the fish tank water right here, it didn't evaporate as much as the distilled water. So that's interesting. Other than that, they both look pretty much the same. I can't tell if one's cloudier than the other. They look kind of similar. So let's go ahead and get some samples and see if we see a difference in life. The main thing we were testing. So let me get set up for that. Some kind of. Are these even ciliates for all I know? They're probably not even ciliates. It's some kind of microbe. And, wow, there's a few of them up in here. Hold on. Like 4 something sitting right there, that little spot. Now those smaller ones of it right there. Okay, that down at the bottom. See that little like tube thing down? I think that was a bacteria, the one that's kind of wiggling right there. It's hard to get this to really focus. But some of those things moving, those little very tiny ones, that's bacteria sized. And that would make sense as to why there's a bunch of those other I don't know if they're ciliates or whatever they are. It may make sense for them to be all bunched up around there if there's a bunch of bacteria for them to eat. At this point, I want to say that those small, very small things fidgeting around are some sort of bacteria, and the bigger things right up there, that's some sort of eukaryote. And that's my guess. But those really small things they're moving around. I can see it. I'm not crazy, am I? Look, there's one over here. There's a bunch of them over here. Those I want to say are some sort of prokaryotes. Maybe bacteria, maybe it's a yeast for all I know. For all I know. I think going forward, I might just stick with spring water since it's probably the closest medium. I think that's what they're called, mediums. The closest medium to what some of these creatures I'd be spawning in maybe used to. So maybe I'll stick with spring water, maybe occasionally distilled water. Let's just see what the future awaits. Maybe there's no problem with using distilled water. Or maybe there is. I mean, just looking blankly at it, both of them had microbes in them. Both the fish tank water and the just straight distilled water. So maybe it doesn't really matter much in this context. Maybe there's not that much salt or whatever sort of solutes are in the water. Maybe there's not that much that it really harms them. I mean, this might have been a weird way to test osmosis, if I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure there are better ways of testing it. I know there are better ways of testing it. You could just took like a plant or something and put in some salt water and then compare it to regular water or distilled water. That would have been a good idea, wouldn't it? Well, on the bright side, I was able to mix or breed some more of these or culture more of these microbes. And perhaps I've gotten a bit better at my bacteria detecting skills with seeing some of those small ones, because I really want to say that's some sort of bacteria. And I think with this one and the last video, it's helped my confidence in that matter. So, and we saw a nematode. So I say it's pretty much a success, if you ask me. Was there any point to all this? Who knows? It's the friends we made along the way. So you know what? Let's just see what holds next for my weird experiments, and have a wonderful day, my friends.